Hello, this is William Cooper. Welcome to Awakening Together, Relaxing into Happiness. I trust you're doing well. Today, I'd like to talk about two things. Two big things that were startling for me. The first is you can't find yourself. If you search for yourself, you will not find you because you don't exist. I'll explain that in just a moment. The second is, if you want to be awakened, that's a very high energy, and you have to decide to shift your energy. You have to decide to let go of everything that pulls your energy down. You don't get the luxury to hold on to the negative and yet be positive. Just can't happen. You have to decide what you want. Okay. Back to the first observation. I remember I spent years and years and years looking for myself. Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? Finally, somehow, I guess my intuition got strong enough and my observation had been long enough that I noticed the reason why I was having trouble was that the deepest part of me does not exist, and you can't find what doesn't exist. What I mean by that is we are like a rainbow, and I've described this so many times in past podcasts that I'll let you go back to those and review, but just to bring those up to date that maybe have listened a long time ago or haven't listened at all, you'll find that you're like a rainbow. At one end of the rainbow, you are before creation, and only those things in creation exist. So since you're out of existence, you don't exist. You can know yourself on that level, but not through your five senses, because they only work with those things that exist. So when you search around with your mind, looking in your senses, who am I, you won't find anything. All you'll find is thoughts and emotions, and you'll mistakenly think that you are thoughts and emotions. You might think, well, I'm good thoughts, or I'm wholesome thoughts, or I'm relaxed thoughts and emotions. That's who I am. I'm myself, my personality, which is made of thoughts and emotions, but I'm all the good ones. After I do lots of therapy, that will be me. That's the real me. No, none of that's you. Those are simply thoughts and emotions that you create. If you go back into your consciousness and back and back and back, you'll have to use your intuition, because as you go out of existence, that's where you begin. And you arc into existence like a rainbow. One part of you, the deepest part, nothing there. And you'll hear saints and sages say, oh, there's nothing, it's beyond all words. And it is, but I'm trying to put words on it just to direct your attention. It's beyond words, and then you come into this creation, and you first come in as light, that's the first part of you, and then sound, deep sound, Om, and high-pitched sound. At least that's what I feel when I notice myself. And then you slow down, and as you slow down, as this energy of you, the infinite, the one energy, slows and turns into creation, the first building blocks are bliss, joy, wellness, love, peace, happiness. As that slows down, it turns into atoms, which then turn into molecules, which then turn into dogs, cats, trees, and other objects. That's who you are. So this deep realization that I could search around forever and I would never find myself using my mind or my senses was startling to me. So I want to just revisit it right now and let you know. Again, listen to prior podcasts and I'll explain it more deeply there. So I didn't want to leave that out, but mainly I want to focus on another startling realization that I think is very helpful, and that is, as I alluded to earlier in this podcast, it's really very simple. What is awakening? Awakening is realizing yourself, realizing this rainbow that comes in beyond creation, and it's just beautiful. It comes in as light and sound, and then bliss and wellness and happiness, and it comes down through your body, and it creates your body, a body made of happiness and bliss. That's awakening. That's self-realization, realizing yourself. If you're on this path and it's important to you to realize yourself, you don't have the option to hold on to low vibrations, because you're not a low vibration. You are love, peace, wellness, happiness, joy, bliss. That's who you are. So it's a very simple decision. I know that the path may not be easy, but the decision is simple. Only hold on to the best. Anything that's not happiness is not you. It's that simple. Anything that's not peace is not you. Let it go. Jesus talked until he was blue in the face about forgiveness. It's for you to forgive. Yes, it's good for the rest of the world, but you can't hold on to hatred. That's not a high vibration. You have to forgive. You don't have a choice if you want to be awakened. Gratitude journals are great. I would Google, I would do them, I would find out how to do them. You don't have a choice. You are gratefulness itself. It shouldn't be that you do a journal, yet that's a good first start. It's simply, why block yourself from being grateful all the time? Because by nature you are grateful. What's happened is we are under mass hypnosis. And there's a book that a psychologist wrote, Stephen Walensky, called The Trances People Live. And it's basically, he says, when people come into my office, I don't have to hypnotize them. I have to dehypnotize them, because we're hypnotized by our cult. We're in a cult. Culture. Our culture hypnotizes us. And we live life based on group thought, group think, and we hypnotize ourselves. So awakening is simply stopping that. Stop it. Match yourself to who you really are. Just stop obscuring yourself. Every spiritual practice, when you look at it, is basically there to help you stop it. When you meditate, what happens? You sit still. You observe your thoughts so that they can wind down, they can release, they can let go. Why? Because we get lost in them. They obscure us. They slow our vibrations down. So best to let them go and then realize ourselves. That's us without clinging and having to live life through thoughts and emotions. Yes, thoughts and emotions are helpful. We use them as we need them, but we don't need to be bound by them. And we certainly don't need to be covered up and clogged up with all of our past thoughts and emotions that we've never released, that we created, and they're just bobbing around inside of us, obscuring us. If you want to be awake, you have to sit down, see what you haven't discreated. It's like cleaning up an old room in the house where you put all your junk. It's got so clogged up that at some point you just have to clean up the room. Meditation is cleaning up that room. It's sitting down and day by day letting things unwind and release that you no longer need or even want. It can seem like a daunting task, but for instance, cleaning up a room, just go in every day and take out a pair of socks and throw them in the washer. Do a little something every day. Clean up one thing in that room, and after some time, the room will get clean. Same with our lives. Clean up a little something every day, and at some point, you'll be awake. Yes, it's true. Your nature is radiant all the time. That can never be changed. The point isn't to get happy. You are happy. The point isn't to get love. You are love. The point isn't to become peaceful. You are peaceful. You are peace itself. What the point is to let go and burn off everything that we retain that makes us believe otherwise, our old hypnosis, which is called thoughts and emotions, to let them go so we don't have to look through the lens of these thoughts and emotions and live a life that's contrary to who we are. So it's very simple. Match your vibration with what you want to be, because you are that. If what you're wanting to be is happiness, the good news is you are happiness. If you want to be peaceful, the good news is that you are peaceful. Not because you want to be, it's because something inside of you calls you to be what you already are. That's why you want to be peaceful, because somewhere deep down inside you know, I am peace itself. The reason you want to be happy, not only does it feel better, but some part inside of you knows, that's who I am. I am happiness itself. So, the two big things for me, and I'm trying to give you a shortcut, but the two big things for me, again, were noticing I don't exist, so therefore I don't look for myself in the only thing I knew before, which were the thoughts and emotions. I don't look for myself there. I sit still and I start to notice the part of me that's observing the thoughts and emotions. What is that? Can I put my finger on it? Not really. If you look at your hand right now, the part of you that's looking, the awareness, does it really have a feeling? No, it really doesn't, because you're feeling yourself all the way back. You don't exist. That's why there's no feeling. And yes, as you sit there and you put your attention and you become accustomed to this part of you that's so deep, you will start to hum and vibrate with all of your qualities of being that do exist in this creation, and you will start to radiate love, peace, and well-being. And that is a feeling. So no worries. You don't have to worry about not ever having a feeling in your body. It's simply that the feeling won't be misidentified with hurt, fear, and anger, and instead you'll be vibrating with peace, love, and well-being. Again, we've covered that plenty in podcasts before, and if you haven't listened to the previous podcasts, I suggest that you do that, unless this is already something that you have realized and are quite familiar with. Then yeah, just continue on. You're doing great. And the second thing is match your vibration with what it is that you are. What you know you are. You know your peace. You know your well-being. You know your happiness. Match yourself with that. Follow spiritual practices. All they do is let go of the things that you're not. They help you let go of it, whether it's through meditation or movement, yoga, or therapy is very important. Sometimes we get in the part of the rainbow that is emotional and we need a little help. So therapy is helpful. If you can't afford therapy, I'm going to have another podcast that'll talk about places you can have free therapy. that most people don't know about. You can become co-counselors or do other things. We'll talk about that. So you have, and this is true all over the world. So you have lots of opportunities, whether they're spiritual opportunities or therapeutic opportunities, to awaken. All of these parts of the rainbow, as they clear up, they're all parts that are in that room that's clogged up with old junk. You want to clean up all of the parts of the room so the whole rainbow is open and flowing and shiny. And what you can do now is just make a decision to let go of all that's not happiness, all that's not peace, all that's not wellness. Just do it. It doesn't necessarily require therapy or spiritual practices. Simply do it. If it does seem to be a little more difficult than that, and sometimes it is, often it is, then get therapy or work with spiritual practices. Okay. I've enjoyed talking with you, and I look forward to talking to you next time. Take care. Bye. Hello, this is William. If you've enjoyed this podcast, please consider sharing it with somebody else. Send them a link. Thanks so much.